What is up, everybody? We're here with some Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. We are approaching the anniversary, and I thought it would be a thing to do to stop and kind of take a look at, as a day one player, where is my account at, and then kind of talk about what I would like to see the game start doing from the second anniversary on. These are not necessarily things that I'm wanting like right away on the second anniversary. I mean, this thing is like a week and a half away. A lot of things have already been decided for what's going to happen for it. I mean, they've already got all that laid out. This is kind of looking at, from there on, where would I like to see the game be moving? What's going right? What's not going right? And what could make the game more enjoyable? I haven't made a video for Ever Crisis in about a week at this point. Actually, a little over a week. Mainly because not a lot's been going on. So, I mean, we've had, since the last time the last video I did was for the Should You Pull on the Red 13 banner. There was an issue with the minor guild, and then there was a weapon enhancement rally. That's it. It's been pretty quiet. So there's been nothing really to talk about. So, I felt it was time to do this. So anyway, if you guys are new to the channel and you do like what you see, hit that subscribe button, follow along with what we do here, hit that like button, comment down below, and let's get started. So first off, where am I at in the game? As I said, I've been playing since day one. I consider myself free to play, even though since day one I think I've spent maybe 30 bucks on the game. And that was just to toss the devs some love because I was enjoying playing the game. This is really early on. And again, while yes, it is a free-to-play game, I did want, like I said, I wanted to toss the devs some love, and thank them for that. You think about when we buy, other games that are, bigger games. I mean, look at Final Fantasy VII Remake or Rebirth or anything like that. We pay, $60, $70 for those games to play them unlimitedly, and here we're playing this unlimitedly, at least until they decide to shut down the servers. So I wanted to toss them at least a little bit of love there. But like I said, I've done that basically the one time. I said it was like 20 to 30 bucks, and haven't spent a dime since then. So like I said, I do for the most part consider myself free to play. So anyway, let's kind of see where I'm at with things. In the realm of characters, guys, all my characters are all level 7, or was it level 90 is our max right now? Yeah, level 90. Character stream-wise, when we look at the actual character stream, everybody's character stream is maxed. When we look at the roles, I probably could max a lot of them. I just haven't gone through and done it because honestly, the role system wasn't as exciting as I thought it was gonna be, or is doing as much as I thought it was going to do. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. Like you see Bear Hair I haven't touched, but like if I go to Cloud here, I've got his completely maxed. I've got Yuffie's completely maxed. But like I said, it just wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. Yes, it gives him more P attack, HP, and all that stuff, and I probably should go in and max it. But this kind of hit, and then they almost like immediately abandoned it. We look at the character, the stream, character stream, and this got expanded upon, and this, no. And really, I guess the stream's only been expanded upon once when we got the limit break update. But this was just a very quick, like one-page type thing, whereas the other one at least had like 3 or 4 pages to go through. So I'm not really sure what they were going to do with this or where they were going with this, if they're going to expand on it. But it's kind of weird, especially when you look at the weapons they still release. They put these guys into roles, and they're still giving things that happen outside the roles. Either making them support or a heal class when they're an attacking class, or a tank class, or something like that. But anyway, I don't have everybody's max when it comes to this. I think we can actually, if I go back to the character selection screen, I think I can actually, yeah, we can toggle. I can see, the stream-wise, we can see that, but we can't see the rolls. Oh no, we can't see the rolls. There we go. Like Barrett, I haven't done anything with, you know, Aerith is maxed, Tifa's maxed, Yuffie's maxed, and, you know, Lucia's maxed, and I've got quite a few others pretty close. I mean, Matt over here is just one thing away, and I could max him right now. But anyway, so there's that. If we want to take a look at weapons, let's filter this by rarity. So, some of these are event weapons, limit break weapons that are pretty low on the totem pole of where they're at with things. I do have some that are non-event weapons, but as you can see as we get further down, a lot are already at least in that OB6 plus category. And then once we hit right here, we are all OB10. So we got a lot of OB10 items, and a lot are even OB10 plus. I've got a lot of things that are well past OB10 at this point. And again, like I said, mostly free to play, or like I said, I do consider myself free to play in that regard. Ultimate weapons. I have everybody's ultimate weapon from the exchange shop. When it comes to the special ones that, like, you know, were available for the draws, I know I have, well, we can actually look at this easier by going to exchange Bakugan. So I did not get Barrett's, did not get Tifa's. I really wanted that one. Aerith's I did get, Red 13's I did not, Yuffie's I did not, Kate Sith's I did, Vincent's I did, Sephiroth's I did, Lynn's I did, Matt I did not, Lucia's I did not. You can see I barely pulled from Matt and Lucia. I mean, the fact I only have one pull on each of those. And I do have some points I could spend in here. But again, not enough that's going to get me the weapon. You know, 170 is going to give me 170. Of the ones that are here, I could go for Matt or Yuffie. The closest one I got is Yuffie. At 170 is only going to put me at 250. I'm going to be 50 short still from getting hers. In the realm of materia, I mean, materia's all over the place for everybody. I mean, I could show you like what materia I have in the realm of like rarity. Yeah, we can filter. But the problem is, I mean, there's still stats that are involved. So, like, you know, is it, you know, where's the earth potency at? Where is this at? And I got a lot of duplicate things. I probably should go through and try to get rid of some things, but I do have quite a few, at least 5-star materia. Whether they're good or not, it's a whole nother thing. In the realm of content being able to be cleared, like when we look at the summons. So in the realm of summons, I do not have everybody's fully cleared yet. And the same thing with like the summon streams. I guess I could look at it more from that perspective, because the ones that I have fully cleared, I do have all the way to 10, but like Ifrit, I still have to do his EX2. Shiva is completely cleared. Ramu is not. I still need to do his EX2. Leviathan is completely cleared. Titan, I think I still need to do EX2. Odin, same deal, should just be EX2. Bahamut should also be EX2, or EX3, sorry. For the double summons, I do have Ifrit and Bahamut completely cleared. Shiva and Ramu down to their EX2. Leviathan and Bahamut also EX2. Part of that's just because I haven't sat down to redo these battles since, you know, way after the release, and I've built my teams up more. In the realm of the streams, at least up to their ability, the summon ability is maxed until I can clear the EX2. I don't have all the like individual like potencies and speeds added in yet, but abilities are there with that. All the Crisis and Criterion dungeons are cleared. Battle Tower, I still need to do floor 100 again. It's just sitting down and doing it. but for the other towers, they are completely cleared. And same thing with the story quests and the actual story itself. Those are all completely cleared up to this point. Events, I've done as much as I can at this point. Again, I'm not necessarily clearing every event all the way through, like through the crash battles and stuff like that, but I'm easily able to clear the basic stuff with very, very little effort. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at currently in the game. So the next thing, what would I like to see expanded upon at this point? This is not necessarily a just straight additions, something we don't have at all. This is something that already exists in the game, and I would like to see either changes or it be expanded upon. So first off, Crisis and Criterion dungeons. Okay, first off, we haven't had a single Criterion dungeon in a year. Close to. The Mithril Mine's the last thing we got. And yes, these were usually stupid easy, but they then unlocked you to do the Crisis dungeon. Make this your... Yeah, that was one of the things that they kind of changed, where they, especially in the Crisis dungeons, where they dropped the normal and hard, and just went to, hard and very hard. Make this your normal category. Make this your normal category. Make your hard, very hard, the Crisis dungeons. I like these. I think these are fun. Basically doing little dungeon crawls. They're all awesome, but these are all S. I've already got all these cleared. They're all S+, and you can see some of them. Oh yeah, they stopped even the hard. We're just very hards on some of these. And for whatever reason, they're split. Why? I don't know why. These should be combined. But yeah, we went from starting with the Gracia path, we lost the normal mode. So, again, but you can see it's been since, where was the Mithril Mine at? Right here. This was the last Crisis dungeon we got. And we've had all of these since then. So, I would love to see this expanded upon. I would like to see more of these. Maybe give us EX1 versions. That could be interesting. But like I said, yeah, go back to the Criterion dungeons as well. The Criterion dungeons were a neat little thing. I did like those. But more Crisis dungeons. And more difficulties. Give us the EX1s. Make them a little bit more challenging. Even add EX1s all the way back to this. This gives us a reason to do these. Right now, they're giving us free Crisis tokens, medals, throughout other things that we're doing. That have nothing to do with the Crisis dungeons. That way we can still continue to utilize the shop, because here's another thing as well. This needs to be expanded upon. The only thing that they've added were the Buster Sword, or Origin. And then, that's kind of been it. Utilize this shop by, again, expanding upon the Crisis dungeon and making it more useful. That's something I would like to see. Back over the main page here, the Chocobos. Again, this is something I feel like is neglected, and it's kind of one of those, oh crap, we haven't done something with that in a while, let's toss it out. The fact that we are still, let's go to our Chocobo stable. If I go to rarity or rank here, we're up to A, cool. But if I go to filter, they've already prepared this all the way to S+. In 2 years, we've only gotten to A. This has moved so slowly in comparison to some of the other things like character levels, weapon level increasement. Like, this is something that has moved very slowly in regards to that. So, again, I would like to see some additions there. Give us the SNS Plus at this point. We still haven't released the, was it the Ocean? No, we got the Ocean. We haven't gotten the... maybe we have got all these. I thought I remembered seeing one for, like, air or something like that. But maybe I'm wrong there. Add the Air Chocobo. Even though it's more of a Final Fantasy IX thing. Add an Air Chocobo. Hell, why not? So this next thing I would like to see is probably not going to happen, and the reason I say that is because of a recent limit break banner we had gotten with Lucia. One of the things I was really, really wanting to see was the addition of us being able to where's the... There we go. Was to be able to upgrade these. Once you get a weapon to like OB10, boom, so you hit it at OB10. Now all of a sudden you have there's like a new system that takes place where you can, upgrade your S abilities. To go from that P attack boost 1 to P attack boost 2, and maybe only start it there. You can only go up to level 2 on things. That's going to start making some of these older weapons that are not used anymore because, some of the things are outdated or whatnot, may be useful, even as an offhand weapon. Even make it to where you can maybe upgrade the R abilities further or something like that. I don't know. Because right now there are some weapons that we've gotten that are never going to see the light of day again. They're literally just taking up space here. And I think it'd be nice or neat, I should say, to make them useful in some regard. So like I said, I think it'd be cool to be able to upgrade the S abilities, and again, that's only going to work with your materia. But still, I could say having that as a Sigil Boost 2 was super beneficial. I mean, the fact you're getting a +4 count as to whereas you look at something as a 1, you're getting a +2. That extra 2, every attack can make a huge difference. But I was wanting to see that as its own separate system, like its own upgrade system, kind of like we have with the, the branding and stuff like that. But unfortunately, with that addition of Lucia's weapon, that already natively does that, I don't see it happening. So, like I said, that was a thing I would have liked to have seen. And again, that's kind of like an expansion type thing, because it already exists. Obviously, the S abilities already exist. But just be able to expand upon what you can do to them. Or maybe the brand effects can affect them. I don't know. So the game in its whole is still very free-to-play friendly. Like, you really don't have to spend in this game to be able to clear the basic content. I'm not saying that you can clear every bit of content in this game. If you pull perfectly, yeah, sure. But you don't have to spend in this game to be able to clear the most basic content outside of like crash battles and stuff like that. However, that being said, I feel like the game has gotten less free-to-play friendly as the game has gone on. I mean, I feel like we were just getting like showered with crystals. I mean, you could pull almost every freaking banner. I mean, at least to the 6th stamp and be fine. And even if you were unlucky in getting 1 stamps, and now it's like you're lucky to do a 10 pull once a month. So I would like to not see it completely die away from being free-to-play friendly. And again, maybe adding those crisis dungeons back in are going to help that, because again, giving us more economy will help with stuff like that, as long as we don't get overloaded with limit break banners again. The limited banners, that was a huge problem. But I would like to see it not shy away from being free-to-play friendly either. I don't have a problem with people spending on the game. I want to be very, very clear about that. If you've got the cash, you've got the disposable income. Keyword there's disposable income. If you've got the disposable income and you want to put it into this game, I see no problem with that. I know people who whine and complain about stuff like that because, well, I had to work hard to get this, or yada yada yada. I mean, when you get technical, how was that money attained? It was attained through somebody having a job and having to work to get that money. Unless it's a kid stealing their parents' credit card, that's a whole other thing. But that money was obtained through somebody having to work in real life, putting in hard work outside of the game, that they can't enjoy the game because they're at the job. And now this gives them a little bit of an advantage because they don't have that time to grind into the game. I perfectly understand that, and I have zero faults with that. As long as it's not getting them a major advantage over things. And again, okay, you look at the content they clear. Alright, you know, they're clearing some crash battles where they get an extra 100 or 200 blue crystals. They're getting a couple extra synthesis items for weapons or for materia. When you look at materia, that is all RNG based. When you go to synthesize a materia, you're still left up to RNG whether that's going to, you know, actually going to do anything at all. So, you know, it's not a straight just, you know, clear unfair advantage in regards to stuff like that. Advantage, yes. You know, but nothing that's insane. Again, it's not stopping us from being able to do the basics of the game. Alright, moving on. Accurate power system. Okay, when you build a party, it tells you what their power level is, right? So, you know, this team right here is a power level of, you know, 1 million. And that's fine, like, whatever, cool. Problem with that is, like, the last time I attempted the Ramu battle, the EX2 battle, I think I had a party built with, it was like 750,000 or something like that. The EX2 battle is 300,000. Now keep in mind, this is a while ago, so I couldn't tell you what party I was going in with or stuff like that, but I do know that I went in with lightning resist. I was still one shot by his first big attack. The recommended power level is 300,000. In theory, 300,000 should, you know, still be somewhat of a challenge, but you should be able to clear. I was double that. I should have stomped this, and I did not. This needs to be accurate. Make your EX2s question marks or something like that, because they're not a recommended 300,000. There's zero reason I should have gone in with, you know, lightning resist equipment and boost magic defense equipment, because you cannot lower his magic attack. No, I guess you can. I thought it was you couldn't. Thinking of something else. Anyway, I'm lowering his magic attack and all that stuff, and I still get wiped by his first attack. So, and again, like I said, that was a while ago. I haven't tried it since then. I'm sure I've got equipment that'll help me clear it now, but my point was, you know, I was over double the recommended power level with stuff that should have helped me defend against that first attack, and he still wiped me. So, again, I think that needs to be revisited. Either that, or this number needs to be revisited. Either this is not accurate, or the other one's not accurate, but that should be revisited, and they should make that change accordingly. The high wind. Something needs to happen with the high wind. When you look at the collection, aside from, you know, having everything within it possibly max, like, you know, I need, you know, different, you know, I guess like for this one, I still need to get the different guild exchange weapons and all that kind of stuff. But when you look at the overboost, everything is fully overboosted. All of that stuff is overboosted, and my items for the high wind, I currently have over 1,400 Astro Winds sitting here with everything fully overboosted. This needs to be able to go to OB10 at this point. Okay, so that's something we should see in the anniversary, is this part right here getting expanded upon, be able to go up to OB10, maybe even some more categories. I like the idea of the high wind, I'm not faulting it, but that's something that should be revisited as well. You can see kind of where I'm at with things. That level 115 here, 91 on the engine. That's because I had everything maxed before they did the boost up to 120, and I was working on getting the engine up. And then they did that boost, so I started focusing back on the other things. Kind of my big holdup right now is the iron metals. I'm pretty far away from that. Anyway, I'd like to see some more guild-related event, and I'm not going to go into my guild just because there's some things inside the guild that I don't need to be putting up on, you know, YouTube. Not anything that's inappropriate, but just, you know, links to Discord and things like that that I don't want as public stuff right now. But anyway, I would like to see some stuff. I'd like to see some more events with guilds. I mean, we have the guild battles right now. Yeah, it's cool. I like that. I like the fact the guild has to come together. You strategize about who's going to take on which thing. You have to go, you know, that's awesome. But I'd like to see some other, like, guild event where it's not necessarily just a guild versus guild type thing. Maybe have a guild event where there's like different stepping stones and each person of a guild needs to complete the stepping stone or something like that to clear the event. Something like that where your guild's working together for a common goal, but it's not necessarily that you're like competing against other events or other guilds. I mean, I think that would be fun, especially for like lower level guilds. I think that would be something that's would be super useful for them. But I think that'd be a fun thing to do, because then you can add those in between the guild battles, and it gives the guild something to do in that time period as well. Consistent R ability names, mainly when it comes to gear. So let's come into here real quick, and I'll show you what I mean by this. Let's go in here with Tifa. She's one that I know that has this. So I come in here to her gear. When we first started off, things were pretty easy to figure out. Frostblade Arcanum. Cool. This is going to be doing ice ability damage. Easy to figure out. Waterblade Arcanum. Doing water ability damage. Got it. Physical ability mastery. Easy to figure out. Leavenblade Arcanum. That was lightning. Awesome. And then we started getting into stuff like this Bahamut's Whisper. Okay, but what's Bahamut's Whisper do? Magic attack plus 10. Attack stance command gauge max magic ability damage plus 10%. Okay, so everybody who's going to have this specific skill is going to be called Bahamut's Whisper? No, we changed the name for other stuff. It's dependent on what the gear is. Make this something like, max, magic command gauge. And then we know that it's going to have something to do with magic attack and the command gauge. Or, it would make it really easy to figure something like that out. And we started getting into stuff like this. New Year's Mastery. What is this? This is an all-elemental quasi-arcanum mastery. Okay? Come up with a name for it. That is going to be consistent across the board, because Sephiroth has one of these as well, and it's not called New Year's Mastery. We get to here, Claw of the Worthy. Now we have an Earth ability damage. This is like the Arcanums all over again, but it has this physical ability command damage thing. Physical Earthblade Arcanum. That tells us it's got this physical ability damage modifier to it. Class President's Earring. This is a wind ability damage that has physical and HP. They kind of started doing some stuff where they called it like an HP plus something on some of the items, but again, this one does not have that moniker with it. It's just Class President's Earring. What the hell does that mean? Make it so we can just easily look at this and know what it is. This is, Wind Arcanum, or Physical Wind Arcanum HP+. Come up with consistent naming for things so it's a lot easier to sort through and figure out what the heck's what. It was so much easier earlier on, and about the time we hit that first anniversary, things started taking a wild turn. Let us be able to search the gear like equipment. So like right now I come over here to the enhanced screen, go to weapons, and I can see all my weapons. I can't see my gear like that. I would like to be able to search my gear and see, what Arcanums do I have? What, I don't even know what reprieves I have and things like that. Let us be able to search the gear just in this manner. And on top of that, maybe let us level up the gear. That could be an interesting move. Make it add like HP or magic defense or physical defense. I would also like to be able to search weapons by ability, or filter weapons by ability. We can filter by character. We can filter by ability set. So again, does this have? But again, this is the our ability set. So this is just that that first set of extra stats, and then the S ability. I mean, that's fine, but I would also like to be able to search by what can do physical defense down. And again, I don't care about making it specific of physical defense high, down high, to magic defense up high. I don't care about that. What allows me to lower physical defense? What allows me to raise magic attack? What allows me to lower fire resistance or boost fire resistance? Let us sort by that as well. Because sometimes I'm going, crap, who has the ability to do this? Who has the ability to do this? Then I'm having to look up freaking wiki pages to remember who has something that does this or who has something that does this. So I would love to be able to see something like that. That would probably be hard to code into the game. I'm not discounting that. But again, that's something I would like to be able to see, is just be able to go filter, you know, abilities, and then we can see all those different things. More party slots. Please. We recently had an update on this, but I still think we need more than this. I do so many different things, like, you know, having, especially now that we're doing things where it's, you should have a magic water build, a physical water build, a magic lightning build, a physical lightning build. Just on the elements alone, that's going to completely fill everything. And that doesn't include any other type of, like, well, this is going to be a dual element. So I would love to see more of those. Okay, additions to the game. There's probably some things I skipped over that in my head I was going, oh yeah. Oh, actually, sorry, yes, the season pass. This thing needs updated. I mean, it exists, and you do it passively, but up the rewards on it. Okay, so that really brings me into a kind of a hot take before I get to the additions, and that's with the draws. And this is going to kind of play into also with one of the additions, but I would like to see some characters get some more love, and the one way to do that, and again, this is why this is going to be a hot take, is to make it to where when we get these regular banners, which we don't even have any regular banners right now, by the way, that you kind of focus on the characters within the role. Have multiple characters back in the banners again, and this is where I say it's a hot take. I understand that, but make it like the stamp card where you, or the stamp card where you can come in and change. I want, you know, this character on stamp 6, this character on stamp 12. Yes, RNG may give you something different throughout, but once you get to those stamps, you are guaranteed that character. So I mean, some of these characters, they're very, very, very specific to a very, very, very specific element, and outside of that, you don't use it. Or they're specific to a different battle tower. And outside of that battle tower, you never use that character because you have another character who can do it better. I like the idea of being able to use whichever character I want. Okay, if, you know, Yuffie is supposed to be a DPS, she should have all the different elements available to her. Cloud should have all the different elements available to him. Tifa should have all the different elements available to her, both physical and magic. And I should be able to play the game then how I want, versus, again, being pigeonholed into having to use a very, very specific character. You know, when you release a new weapon, make it for multiple characters. You know, if it's a DPS weapon, there's one for each of those characters. Again, you're not going to have enough crystals to be able to pull for every single character, but you wouldn't want to because all of them are the same. You know, if I really want to start using, if I want to have, you know, Tifa be my main person, you know, I can make sure I have all the different things for her, but I'm not now limited because I didn't focus on Cloud. I didn't focus on Yuffie. They can have some unique things within there, sure, but it also still needs to be spread out a little bit more. I think that would be a little bit more interesting to see. Like I said, you're going to get some characters who get more love again. I mean, look at Glenn. Look at Matt. I mean, look at Barrett. Kate Sith. You know, these are all people who really are characters who haven't really gotten much recently. I mean, they may have gotten something recently, but when you look at how much we have for different characters, some of these characters definitely have not seen as much love as others. And this would be a way to kind of balance that out. You're releasing a new lightning weapon for Cloud. Well, it's a DPS weapon, so you might as well go ahead and make it for Cloud, make one for Tifa, make one for Yuffie, Vincent, you know. And then you can really start to kind of decide who do you want to do something like that. And again, build the characters in the party the way you want to. Play the game you want to. Yes, it's going to make it to where some people feel like they have to have everything, and it's going to make your whales spend even more, and they're going to have even more stuff, whatever. they still can't use all 5 characters at the same time. But like I said, I think it would give love to other characters. Like I said, it's a hot take. I see why it's controversial. I'm not saying it's necessarily the right thing to do, but I think it would also be a way to allow some of these characters who get neglected to still see some love. Even if you're not going to give it for every character, at least give it for 2 or 3. Something so where, you know, we can still kind of pick and choose who we want and still not feel like we're being, you know, overwhelmed. Or, you know, being punished for picking a specific character because we had nothing else for them. Alright, speaking of which, so this is going to kind of tie into that. More characters. You know, we look at games like Brave Exvius, which I know in the Americas shut down a while ago, and I think the Japanese version just announced it's going to be closing the servers. Record Keeper, which again, US version shut down a while ago, Japanese version still going strong today. There are a plethora of characters, and yes, some never get used, and that's a problem there too, because again, they focus on very, very specific characters. And that was a problem I had with that game too, where you had to have this specific character with this specific item to be able to clear this specific dungeon. That shouldn't be like that. It should be more of I can pick who I want out of my favorite characters to do what I need to do. But addition of more characters, I would like to see, you know, of course we have the favorites I see being asked for, like Genesis. But add in the Turks. Add in Cisne. Add in, I'm trying to think of some of the Dirge Cerberus people. Some of those characters, you know, I think that'd be cool. You know, give us adult Sephiroth. You know, but I think that might be interesting to kind of see for stuff like that. And again, it gives us more ways to play. In theory, again, if you follow what I asked before about making sure all characters are kind of balanced, it gives us a way to play the game how we want to play. You know, I want to use these specific characters because these are my favorite characters. And then I'm not punished for not focusing on other characters. And then the final thing I would like to see is the addition of an accessory slot. Maybe down here in this empty space right here, but an accessory slot. And this accessory slot can do things like, you know, maybe it's a status type thing where it stops you from being able to be poisoned, or stops you from being able to be darkened or silenced. Maybe it also has some minor things as well, like again, boost MDef, boost PDef. Nothing crazy in the realm of like, you know, it has an ability to be used. Like this is just straight stats only. It is just the our abilities only, if you will. It doesn't have anything to do here because we already have enough to do on the screen between we have our first ability, our second ability, our ultimate weapon ability. We have the roll ability. You know, you have all your different materials. You've got your summons or limit breaks. I mean, there's so many different things already that are there. I don't want the accessory as a usable item in the realm of an ability, but just as a way to provide R abilities or S abilities or something like that, as well as some basic stats. I think that would be a neat addition to see as well. So anyway, long video is long, guys. That's kind of where I'm at with things. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see for the 2nd anniversary and on. You know, do you agree or do you disagree with any of the things that I suggested? I did forget to mention one thing. I'm going to jump back here really, really quickly. One thing I would like to see expanded upon, story quests. Holy crap. This has not been touched in so freaking long. They gave us Barrett. We had these 3, and then they gave us Barrett, and that was like almost, I think around the year anniversary, and then we've seen nothing to this. I would like to see more with the different characters. I think this would be so fun to see. It was a nice little thing to do. You know, yeah, you got very, very little rewards from it, but still, it was a short little thing. It was fun. Expand upon that. Sorry, okay. Needed to add that one in. Alright, guys, so we're going to call that one here. Thanks for watching. Again, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the like button, comment down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.